24, 25, 26, 27. Oh, you're alive. That's a surprise, to say the least. Yep, everyone else is dead. That explosion really wiped everyone else out. You wouldn't happen to remember what number I was on, would you? Wait a minute. You. Well, I didn't mean for you to get hurt. Here, let me help you get out from under all that rubble. Okay, fine. I won't touch you. I was just trying to be nice. The paramedics won't be coming around anytime soon, though. The other members of the Evolved are delaying them, so we have time to spare. I admit, I feel a little nervous about finally having this chance to talk to you. But who would have predicted that we'd be together right after I finished bombing a whole tower? Even in this trapped and vulnerable state, you're still as entrancing as the day I first saw you. But it looks like your powers won't save you this time, my doll. You know, 'cause your powers are like a voodoo doll. If you cause harm to yourself, it affects someone of your choosing. But only if you're making direct eye contact with them, of course. Okay, I admit, I'm not that creative with nicknames. Huh? I'm bad with regular names too. What do they look like? Oh, you mean your healer friend. Yeah, he was somewhere over there. Definitely not gonna make it. But you two are quite the pair. I mean, you're the definition of hurting yourself to save everyone else, and he's, well, a healer. But that power can only take you so far, and your friend can only do so much. You did successfully kill one of my team members with that stunt you pulled that one time. After your enticing first impression, I just had to keep my eye on you. You'd not only be useful to recruit, but you are such a fascinating character. How long has it been? Like 2 months? When you sliced your neck with that shard of glass, it should have killed you alongside my comrade. But you woke up in the hospital anyways and ended up losing your memories for a good while. It was truly tragic that you even forgot about your healer friend who barely managed to save your life and carried you into the ER. Thankfully, you're all back to normal now. But those scars never truly fade, do they? But I'm more impressed you had the guts to pull that off at all. It was truly admirable the way you charged in with such bravery and selflessness, and despite your knees shaking and heavy breathing, still took the plunge. Too bad it didn't work out in the end. Huh. You really didn't know? We were lucky we recruited that one hero who can resurrect people a week before your brave act. Well, I suppose they're not a hero anymore. What's their name again? Again. I am so bad with these names. But yeah, they brought our teammate back to life without breaking a sweat. You really shoved your way through all the police and were willing to trade your life for a couple of random civilians. My comrade wasn't going to hurt them. Our boss sent me to make sure of that. So I played as one of the captured victims just in case my comrade took it too far. It was merely to grab the attention of the news, a demonstration, if you will, to inform the city of our organization's existence. The Evolved. But then again, how are you supposed to know? You were willing to sacrifice your life to save mine, and I wasn't even an actual victim. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I didn't think I'd have to explain to you what you already know. The civilians of the city treat us like dirt. In fact, the world evaluates us based on our worth to them. Sure, you're not a full-time hero. You live out your life like any other person, but you still step in whenever someone needs your help. You deserve some sort of compensation instead of having to work multiple jobs just to scrape by. Why are you surprised I know that? I did say I kept my eye on you. You know, I suppose whether you were killed in this plan or not, it would have worked out fine for me. Because if you're not on our side, with me, then no one else should have you. What's that look for, my doll? I simply adore you. I suppose your injuries are far worse than I thought. They must be making you delirious. Otherwise, you'd understand my devotion to you. I'm assuming your wounds are the reason why it'd be risky to use your powers at the moment to strike me down. Especially since it only works if you are the one who harms yourself. But now, our relationship can change. Of course, I didn't mind simply watching you from afar. It helped me to get to know you better after all, even if I couldn't see you as often as I would have liked. I do have to spend the majority of my time contributing to the evolved after all. It felt so perfect, seeing you live out your life. I can't quite describe it. Seeing you accomplish small tasks or errands made me proud. When you were distraught, it pained my heart. You really are my adorable little doll. But this, being here with you, it's so much better. I know that destiny wanted us to meet. Your friend always nags you to show up early to events. No wonder you two were the only heroes to be caught in the bombing. Knowing him, he probably had you two show up a whole hour early. Did you really think that meeting was for a compromise? Did you think they all of a sudden wanted to reward heroes with benefits? They were going to strip you of your powers. They have some sort of machine. If anything, they were about to use you as a test subject. The city's higher-up politicians wouldn't have attended that meeting for a bunch of casual heroes. No offense. So I laced the building with explosives. This was to send a message to them all. I was gifted with powers, just like you. Where my body is no longer physical, floating between life and death, leaving me immune to any sort of damage. Everything simply passing right through me. It has a time limit, of course, but it lasted just long enough for me to remain inside the building when it collapsed. I watched it all crumble from the inside while I remained unaffected. Humans will always find one difference between one another and it'll send them into conflict. There was always tension. It was about time one side snapped. I'm glad our leader was the one to pull the trigger first. This bombing marks the beginning of a new era. But don't worry, we snagged some evidence of their plans to strip our powers first. Who would win? The side gifted with powers? The side that has evolved further than the average human? Or them? The side who's struggling to make up for the lack of it? They're gutsy to try and take our powers from us, but it's their audacity that disgusts me. Their side didn't deem me as useful because my ability only allows me to protect myself. It was the evolve that saw my potential. And I see yours. Their name is still not coming to mind, but you know how I talked about my comrade who can resurrect people? Technically, they need to take someone else's life essence to bring someone back. But since you made it out alive, there must be someone we can use to resuscitate your healer friend. If you join me, I'll ask them to save him. And of course, fix you right up. It's a win-win. Or, you know, you can both die here. By my side. By being mine alone. I'll make sure no one will ever hurt or take advantage of you again. You wouldn't need to rely on anyone else. Your friend won't even serve a purpose anymore, because I will be here for you always. So, what do you say, my little doll?